The truth about hurt. What if pain was never real? Introduction. The illusion of hurt. We live in a world where everyone talks about being hurt, by people, by life, by circumstances. But have you ever stopped to ask, what is hurt? Where does it actually exist? We say, I'm hurt. But who is the I that's hurting? We replay old wounds, project pain into the future, and call it reality. But what if suffering isn't happening in the present at all? What if pain is nothing more than a belief, a thought we keep choosing? In this video, we're going to break down the illusion of hurt. We're going to challenge everything you've been told about pain, suffering, and emotional wounds. And by the end of this, you might just realize, you were never hurt at all. Let's get into it. If hurt is real, where does it exist? In the past? In the future? Because I've never seen it in the now. If hurt is real, show it to me. Put it in a box. Point to it in space. You can't, because hurt isn't an object, it's a memory or a projection. Right now, in this moment, nothing is hurting you. Even if someone insulted you 5 seconds ago, where is the hurt now? It only exists when you think about it again. People fear something they've never actually seen. Hurt has never walked into a room and introduced itself. It's always a story about what happened or what might happen. We say, I am hurt. But the only place that hurt exists is in thought. And if you stop thinking about it, where does it go? If no one's ever hurt you, only your thoughts about them have, then who's responsible for the pain? No one has ever climbed inside your mind and placed pain there. They did something, said something, left, stayed, betrayed, ignored. But who gave meaning to it? Who decided it was painful? Let's say someone calls you a name. Do the words have power, or does your interpretation of them create the suffering? Someone else could hear the same words and laugh. If pain is based on your own meaning, then who inflicted it? They acted. You assigned the meaning, which means, the pain is self-inflicted, not because you want to suffer, but because the ego would rather hold on to a wound than admit it was never actually attacked. How can something eternal be wounded? If God's creation can't be hurt, then what exactly is suffering? If you believe you are a soul, an eternal being, something created by God, how can you be harmed? God didn't create broken things. Spirit doesn't bleed. If you are made of the eternal, then what is actually being hurt? The answer, nothing. Suffering only exists on the level of the ego, the temporary self, the illusion of a separate me. The real you, the one that existed before time and will exist beyond it, cannot be harmed. So what is suffering? A misidentification. It's the soul believing it is the body, believing it is the mind, believing it can be wounded. In other words, suffering is a dream that the eternal temporarily forgets is unreal. You say, I'm hurt. But who is the I that's hurting? The body, the ego, or just the story we keep telling ourselves? When you say, I'm hurt, stop and ask, who is speaking? The body. If someone hits you, the body registers sensation, but is that you? When the sensation fades, do you disappear? The mind. It tells the story of how unfair, how wrong, how painful something was. But is the voice in your head you, or just noise passing through? The ego. Now we're getting somewhere. The ego needs hurt because hurt proves it exists. It thrives on separation, on wounds, on injustice, on proving something happened to me. So which I is hurting? The answer determines whether you suffer or whether you wake up. If pain was real, wouldn't it last forever? That's why they made up hell. If it fades, then wasn't it just a passing thought dressed up as truth? Pain doesn't last. It comes, it goes, and sometimes it lingers if you keep thinking about it. If pain was absolute, it would be permanent. But everything that can fade isn't real. It's just an experience. And maybe that's why they created the idea of hell. A place where pain must last forever, because otherwise suffering would be exposed for what it is, a temporary belief, not an eternal truth. If pain was truth, it wouldn't disappear. It wouldn't heal. But it does. And that should tell you everything. If Jesus never talked about being hurt but only about love, what does that tell us about the nature of suffering? Jesus never said, I am hurt. He was betrayed, beaten, crucified. And what did he say? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. If there was ever a time for someone to claim suffering, that was it. But he didn't. That should tell us something. If someone can endure the worst and still see only love, then maybe suffering is optional. Maybe suffering is the refusal to see love where love has always been. Final thoughts. What if you were never hurt? Everything we believe about hurt, suffering, and pain is based on a misunderstanding of who we are. We think we are fragile. We think we are victims. We think we are the sum of everything that has ever happened to us. But what if none of it was real? What if pain is nothing more than a thought, an illusion we hold onto because it makes the ego feel real? What if the only thing keeping suffering alive is the belief that it exists at all? If you let go of every story of pain, every memory of hurt, every reason to suffer, what's left? Only truth, only love, only you.